I'm Rodney Lover, dealer principal at Lovers at Work Office Furniture, and this is Behind the Business with London Inc.
Hello, I'm Gord Delamont and welcome to Behind the Business with London Inc., a video series focused on our city's entrepreneurs and managers and their thoughts on driving innovation, overcoming obstacles, and building brands. Today we're delighted to sit down with Rodney Lover, dealer principal with Lovers at Work Office Furniture, a leading provider of office furnishings and design services in London and right across southwestern Ontario. Rodney, thanks so much for sitting down with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
How have things been for you and Lovers at Work over the past several months?
We've been busy throughout, and thankfully the Ontario government allowed those of us that were serving businesses to operate. So we full on jumped into serving those working at home and continuing to help those that we're trying to still organize their business around the controls that they needed to put in.
Can you speak to some of the direct changes that you've made? Obviously, you mentioned the home market, which I'm sure you were dealing with previously, but not to the extent you are now.
We really leaned into our other geographies. So through e-commerce and our online, we've been selling really strongly in Montreal area, a little bit farther east and right out to Vancouver. We had to make a little bit of a mind shift there, but we're full bore into those other markets really.
Right.
Yeah.
The pandemic has, sort of tested the mettle and the resolve of business owners and managers like nothing else in the past. But I think, it's also tested creativity and strategy because it's really brought them to the forefront and brought them to the forefront quickly. Do you have a system for adapting to change and pushing forth change?
Just trying to keep our eyes open, both in our industry and the world. Connecting with people farther afield, and it may only be an hour drive. And prior to the pandemic, we were doing that, connecting on the phone, connecting through email, and serving people a little bit more at a distance. But we were kind of on that trail. So I would say that we've been a little ahead of our industry for sure.
I think you're also sort of uniquely positioned to comment on the changes that the pandemic has brought about to the workplace. So whether that workplace for people is now at home, or if it's in the office, they're still in the office, or it's I'm planning to go back to the office, or they're looking at a hybrid model. Where do you see this going, and how does Lovers at Work fit in?
We're going to have a hybrid of remote workers for sure, whether people are working at home, a day a week or all week. And then we're also going to have workplaces that just in turn embrace maybe a little less people in that space at one time and have more room for people to feel comfortable, moving around, working.
Do you have any tricks to dealing with your own doubt and adversity? I guess not only yours, but your staff's as well. I mean, how do you go about that as a manager?
Wow. Yeah, having faith and hope in the future, I guess. That's been, a calming place to be. I think, having something to do was a stress, reducer. And we saw certainly as team members came back, they'd be a little hesitant, maybe a bit stressed. But within days of, being here, having a purpose, working with the rest of the team, stress would be relieved.
Listen, thank you so much for sitting down with us, sharing your insight, your wisdom, and continued success with Lovers at Work. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks.